Hello everyone. So in this video, we are going to use this note keeping tool, which is very interesting, and you can use this tool for making your checklist or doing saving all the notes that you are doing onto any particular target. It is visually very helpful to keep a track of whatever activities that you are going to do and whatever activities you have already done onto your target while you are doing a pen testing or a bug bounty hunting role. All right. So the tool name is Swiftness X, which you can download from this particular GitHub repository. So it looks something like this. You can download it for most of the major distributions, as you can see over here, for Ubuntu, for Windows, and for Mac OS. So I have downloaded this for my system for Mac OS, and this is how it looks like. All right. So first things first, as you can see over here, targets. So I'm going to add a target by clicking on the plus button, as you can see over here. I have already chosen a target, which is apple.com. So you just need to click on this and you can see new target. You can just rename this to any target you want. So let's say I rename this to Uber. All right, so I have already done this, and inside which you can make multiple folders. To make multiple folders, it is very simple. Just right click and click on new folder. Once you have done this, so let's say I want to do a PT onto my target, or let's say for an organization in which I want to do a web application pen test, mobile application pen test, and network pen test. So I'm going to create and keep everything separate for my better clear understanding, so that I do not tend to mix up things or forget testing something in future. All right, so as you can see, I have created web app, mobile app, and network. Now in case I want to do or make a checklist in web app, I can just click on new, and here you can see I can make a checklist, and I can even tick that if I have completed that particular checklist. So let's say we give the name to this checklist is subdomains, as we want to do subdomain enumeration first. So let's give it a name of subdomain enumeration and hit enter. Now what all things that we do into subdomain enumeration, we can write it over here. We do subdomain enum. Whatever tools that you follow, you can write it over here. So let's say find domain, you use AMAS, you use sublister, or whatever things that you do. In case you want to post your results over here, you can also do that to identify what subdomains that you have identified. So let's say, for example, I'm going to type here the subdomains, which should look something like this. All right, so these are the subdomains that we have identified. So I'm going to post it over here. So whatever data that you get from any subdomain enumeration tool, you can post it over here for your own reference. Also, there are some options over here through which you can do customization. If you want to make it bold, italic, underline, if you want to choose color, if you want to put it as a link, you can also do that. If you want to import some images, you can also import images over here. So let me show you how you can import images. So here, if you want to import image, just click on this icon, and let's say I want to import an Apple image, for instance, or if you find anything interesting, you can do that as well. So let us just make it small. So at one place, you will be able to create or put your own POCs or proof of concept screenshots as well for whatever you are doing. In order you want to make a checklist of what you have done and what you want to do, you can also click on this, and it will help you make a checklist of things that you need to do. So let's say we give the name as checklist 1, checklist 2, and checklist 3. Once you complete running your checklist, you can tick that, so you will identify that you are on the right track. If you want to paste links, you can do that. If you want to put tables, you can also put a table over here, something like this. So you will be able to understand, okay, so these are the things that I need to do, these are the things that I have already done, and this way you will not miss that. So there are a variety of options that you can choose from here. So let's say we put, or let's say we want to make one more thing. Let's say after subdomain enumeration, we are going to do, for example, let's say GitHub Recon. Then again, you can create notes over here for whatever you're going to do. So let's say in GitHub Recon, we find API keys and sensitive tokens, let's say. Then you're going to paste whatever tools or whatever methodology you use or whatever screenshots that you have identified over here the same way we did over here. So I hope this is clear with everyone. Now for mobile apps, you can do the same thing for the network as well. Now one thing that I like about this tool is you can import your own checklist into JSON format over here. As you can see over here, if I click on checklist, you can see OWASP testing checklist from Iceman, and you can also download that checklist. It is given over here into a JSON format. So what we are going to do is we are going to import this. So let me just copy this, paste it into my notepad editor, and to import it is very simple. Just go to the tool, click over here, and you will be able to see an option of import. So I have already imported a checklist, as you can see over here. If you have not imported, then you just need to import the checklist. So you can just click on import and give the path of your checklist. And once it is imported, it is going to look something like this, which I have done into my library. So as you can see over here, this is the checklist which contains all the vulnerabilities. So I can start testing each one of them and do not miss those vulnerabilities. So this is pretty helpful. It is in front of you. You need to just test these vulnerabilities, go back over here and just do a tick for whatever you have tested. In case you have identified it to be vulnerable, you can post screenshots over here so that you will keep a record of whatever you are doing onto this particular target. All right, if you want to copy everything from this, you can also do that, and you can paste it into any report that you want. So whenever you are doing pen testing, you need to submit the report to your product team, or let's say the DevOps team, or let's say the program owner. Then you can just copy all the data from here and you can simply put it that into the report as well. In case you want to export the data, you can also do that. Just click again over here, and let's say we want to export the data from Apple, just click over there, click on export, and you will be able to export into a JSON format. Also, if you want to add payloads, you can also add payloads from here. So let's say I give a payload title as XSS basic payload. Description, let's say basic version of payload, and let's say the payload, we paste it over here. So let's say this is my payload that always I try to use on multiple programs. So I'm going to add it over here, and you can see I have added my payload, which looks something like this. Now you can just head over to payloads and you will be able to see your payloads. If you want to add new payload, you can also head it over there and you can keep on adding. So let me just type here XSS, and when I go to XSS, you will be able to see all the XSS payloads. When you go to new payload, if you want to add any new payloads for any other vulnerability, you can also do that over there. So let's say we keep it as SQLI, or let's say any other vulnerability. So let's say LFI. So you can add your LFI payloads over there and you will have a beautiful list of payloads here as well, which you mostly use. Also, you can copy the payloads from here. You just need to click this copy button and you can paste it anywhere again, as you can see like this. So I think this is pretty helpful tool, or a pretty note keeping tool, or organizer or organizing tool of whatever you are doing into a very good beautiful format, which you can obviously use anytime. And I think you should keep your data organized, because if you keep it unorganized, you may tend to get confused sometimes whenever you're hunting on many targets. So this is something which is very helpful, in spite of doing everything manually by making each folder, making a notepad file over there. And if you want to go back to see something, you need to open multiple folders, multiple files. I think this is very helpful, and this should help every one of you to keep a record of your daily activities, as well as your methodology, as well as whatever you are doing onto the particular target. If you find it to be useful, you can obviously install this tool and keep record of everything. So I hope you guys understood how you can do effective note keeping, as this would be very, very helpful in your future. Thank you.